Welcome back to City Insider. This is a YouTube channel for news, stories, and analysis surrounding Manchester City Football Club. I will update new video every day. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications to support me. West Ham reject £87 million Lucas Paqueta bid from Man City and submit counteroffer. West Ham have reportedly rejected an £87 million bid from Manchester City for Lucas Paqueta and have told their Premier League rivals to stump up £95 million in exchange for their star midfielder. Pep Guardiola's side are on the hunt for more new faces this summer as they go in search of their fourth consecutive Premier League title. City have been the dominant team in England for years under Guardiola and have won 5 Premier League titles since the Spaniard took the helm in 2016. Last season, the North West Giants landed a famous treble as they backed their top-flight title up by winning the FA Cup and their first ever Champions League title. City have already completed the signings of highly rated defender Josko Gvardiol and midfield ace Mateo Kovacic this summer after seeing Ilkay Gundogan, Riyad Mahrez and Benjamin Mendy depart the club. But Guardiola is clearly keen to bring in more quality, with the new Premier League campaign set to get underway on Friday night. According to Foot Mercato, West Ham are holding out for more money for Paqueta after a second bid for City was presented to them. Talks are set to continue and both clubs are confident a deal can be done. Paqueta has only spent 1 year at the London Stadium after agreeing a 5-year deal to move from Lyon for an initial £36.5 million last summer. The 25-year-old went on to appear 41 times for the Hammers in all competitions and bagged 5 goals and 7 assists. Paqueta impressed in the Premier League during his maiden season in England and played a starring role during his side's Europa Conference League campaign as West Ham ultimately lifted the trophy after defeating Fiorentina 2-1 in the final. But the talented player wasn't able to prevent his team being involved in an unwanted relegation battle domestically as the Hammers could only muster a 14th-place top-flight finish. Paqueta, who has scored 9 goals in 42 appearances for Brazil, is said to have a release clause of £85 million in his contract that doesn't become active until next summer, and the ace will reportedly push West Ham into allowing him to join Guardiola's team during the current transfer window. If Paqueta does depart East London, it could spell trouble for his current employers. Following their struggles last season, West Ham could be up against it once again this time around after already losing England international Declan Rice to Arsenal. But the Hammers finally got their transfer plans up and running on Thursday as they completed the signing of midfielder Edson Alvarez from Ajax. And David Moyes' team are also attempting to prize Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay away from Manchester United. Past, present, and future. Man City release history-inspired new away kit. Manchester City have unveiled the kit which will commence their title defence on Friday night at Burnley, with the new away strip paying homage to Manchester's rich history. Modelled by players from the men's and women's team, City's new away kit has drawn inspiration from the towering mills, buzzing warehouses, and industry of the city, with Manchester renowned for its industrial history and heritage. A classic white base has been livened up with a vibrant gold trim, which manufacturer Puma says has been chosen following inspiration from the famous brickworks of Ancoats in the city. Furthermore, the inside neck of the shirt also features a symbolic representation of the factory skyline of the city, in a further nod to generations of yesteryear. The 2023-24 away shirt will make its debut on Friday night under the lights at Turf Moor, with Manchester City kick-starting the new Premier League season against newly promoted Burnley. It is said to have been designed with performance for Pep Guardiola's side in mind, with the jersey using cutting-edge technology to provide optimal performance and comfort on the pitch. Engineered with ultra-weave fabric, the kit boasts a structured, 4-way stretch design that reduces weight and friction, allowing Guardiola's treble-winning stars to move freely and comfortably. The manufacturing has also seen the use of dry CELL technology integrated into the fabric, designed to keep the body free from sweat. The replica shirt has been made with 100% recycled polyester, excluding the trims and decorations. The all-over tonal graphic print gives the shirt a retro feel and draws inspiration from archival weave patterns from Manchester. West Ham are interested in Man City wonderkid Cole Palmer. West Ham are interested in Manchester City forward Cole Palmer, and the youngster could be included as a makeweight in talks over Lucas Paqueta. Reports claim wonderkid Palmer, who scored City's only goal in their Community Shield defeat by Arsenal at Wembley, will be hopeful of more game time this season after bursting onto the scene under Pep Guardiola and impressing in his sporadic appearances. However, with City actively working on a deal to lure Paqueta from the London Stadium, Palmer may once again find himself forced to settle for a bit part role. As a result, West Ham will look to include the 21-year-old in negotiations with City over talisman Paqueta, either on loan or as part of a permanent move. That is according to the Evening Standard, who add that David Moyes may play Jarrod Bowen as a striker and deploy Palmer down the right wing instead. The starlet has been non-committal when questioned on his short-term future. Have to see what the plan is for next season, see where I am playing and hopefully play as many games as possible, he said after City's recent loss. Hopefully we can win the treble again, but that will be a difficult task. The lads have been sharp in training and hopefully we can do it all over again. Paqueta, meanwhile, wants to join City this summer, Mail Sport understands. However, West Ham are keen to keep him despite a £70 million bid being lodged. Manchester City want starred Rennes Jeremy Doku to replace Riyad Mahrez. Belgium forward Jeremy Doku is being strongly considered at Manchester City as they look for replacements after Riyad Mahrez's departure. The 21-year-old is understood to be a candidate as the treble winners close in on reinforcements for Pep Guardiola's squad. Doku has been an international teammate of Kevin De Bruyne, who knows the young player's abilities to fit in at City, having played with him at the last European Championships and World Cup. As yet there has been no official offer made to start Rennes, but he is expected to be the French club's record transfer departure when he eventually leaves, surpassing the £35 million West Ham paid for Neafagard last summer. Doku is valued at between €50 million, £43.18 million, and €60 million, £51.82 million, by the League One team, with personal terms not believed to be an issue should the deal progress. He was bought for €26 million, £22.45 million, from Anderlecht, and while his form has been mixed, he is still regarded as one of the most promising talents in Europe. Guardiola has been assessing his squad after Mahrez, 32, moved to Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia in a deal worth £30 million, leaving a gap in the squad for one of City's dependable forwards. England under-21 forward Cole Palmer scored in the Community Shield but admitted at Wembley that he would have to discuss his future as he needs regular games. Brighton are understood to have made an approach, worth around £30 million. Earlier in the summer, Guardiola has already persuaded Kyle Walker to stay at the Etihad Stadium amid interest from Bayern Munich. The England right-back now looks very likely to stay at the club, having won his place back towards the end of last season. The City manager also insisted at Wembley that keeping Bernardo Silva was his wish, with the Portugal midfielder gaining interest in Europe and Saudi Arabia. Journalist shares João Cancelo update. Journalist Rudy Galletti has shared news on Arsenal and their links to high-earning Man City defender João Cancelo, who is also a target for Barcelona. Brentford goalkeeper David Raya, after drawn-out talks with the Bees over a deal, is next on the list to join Arsenal after both sides agreed a season-long loan deal with the option to buy. It will be interesting to see if Arsenal do generate enough money through player sales to go back into the market, with there being a belief they are still keen on Cancelo from Man City. That is according to journalist Galletti, who has shared an update on the £250,000 per week defender. The reporter claims Arsenal are still keen on Cancelo, with Barcelona putting the player at the very top of their transfer wish list for Xavi. However, if they are to move for the former Bayern Munich loanee, Arsenal will need to offload players first, otherwise we can consider their summer business done. On paper, Arsenal are still interested in him, wrote Galletti for Tribal Football, but, without important exits in that role, the incoming market of the Gunners, apart from the goalkeeper issue, has to be considered completed. Barcelona, at the same time, remain attentive to the Portuguese player. The Spanish club put João at the top of the list as a new possible right-back, as Xavi appreciates him a lot. And that's the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.